Right. So as you guys already saw the announcement, so really don't have to go over the title, right? Easy. All right. So I had to change one thing because I want to do comp gear next week, just because it'll be like a more in-depth like thing that we're talking about, and I know that there's probably going to be a lot of gear questions whenever we get to that. So and there's a whole bunch of different types of builds for each role. So yeah, I want to save that for next week because that we could literally do that for like 2 hours. So we'll be going over team suite setup and basics, including like how to set up a whisper to a group, to the shot caller, pretty much wherever you want it to go inside of TeamSpeak, if you want to do that or if you need to do that. And then outside of that, like we'll just talk about like basic TeamSpeak functions. I don't know how is Lucky here tonight?
Yeah, what's up?
All right, so are you using like the last war that you guys used TeamSpeak in? Are you using Discord as main comms and then TeamSpeak as micros?
Nope, we had everything with TeamSpeak.
Nice, 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 nice. So I'm assuming you were using like a push to talk.
Correct, and it's annoying as fuck.
Yep. So just to make that easier on you, you can go to a website called Auto, and this is really only for the shot caller.
I was
You
told
can
you
go
had
to
this. I'm very happy.
yep, go to autoptt.com, and then that will set you up. Auto
You're the
push to talk.
best.
Yeah, so that will fix all your troubles with that because I also hated
Annoyance.
that.
It's just annoyance, but yeah.
Yep, 100%. Okay, so outside of TeamSpeak, we will go over like a basic. We're pretty much going to go over your raid plan, but I want you guys to ask like questions about what to do if they're completely force you guys out of your road. Like, what would a kill squad do then if you're group 7 or whatever? Like, if you guys are in these specific scenarios where you guys don't know like what you should do as a group, feel free to ask questions whenever we go over the raid plans. That's really the only way that we're gonna get better as an army, and the only way that I'm gonna learn like what you guys know as an army is if you guys ask me questions. Because if not, I'm just gonna assume that you know everything. We'll do that
Yeah, that
for
sounds
attack. Yeah, right. Same. We'll do that for attack and defense, and then we'll go over like meta. We'll go over like meta shifts, some things that are changing, how fast things change. Obviously, you guys know like fire staffs. There used to be like a ton of them. Now there's still a few of them, but definitely not as many as before. Spears come out of nowhere. Everybody's like, "What are these spears doing on me?" So yeah, we'll talk about stuff like that, and then we'll watch Gurge's video from the dropouts defense, which you guys had a very very nice hold last night. I watched it. Good job. Um, that was really really impressive. But we're gonna hopefully next time we can keep them outside of fort, and hopefully next time I don't get steamrolled. Right? Would be great. Um, yeah, we'll watch Gurge's video and just I want you guys to see Lucky. How are you calling your crashes in the defense war?
Mostly counter crashes.
Yep. All right. Perfect. And then did you get off any like bait crashes or no?
We had some really big counter crashes. We didn't pretty minimal for our aggressive crashes, but we didn't really need to do any.
Yeah. So the other thing, outside of like obviously like counter crashes are pretty much meta right now. Um, outside of that, if you don't see them crashing for a long time, which those
Yeah,
guys
don't
last night
bait
were
them.
just deadoing out of nowhere, you get like one of the point groups to just bait them out, and whenever they bait them out, then everybody just collapses on top of that. All right, moving on. All right, so TeamSpeak. I'll just leave this here for you guys to read. I'm not going to read that out to you, but this is what we're going to go over. I'm pretty much just going to stream my screen, my entire screen this time, and we will start. All right, boom. All right, so I would first of all advise that everybody uses TeamSpeak 3 and not TeamSpeak 5. So I'll go ahead and post this link into the company chat. If you guys are on TeamSpeak 5, I would definitely not be on it. It's more resource hungry and it's just not the better TeamSpeak, to be honest. It looks pretty, but that's about it. So are there I'm sure like the majority of you guys are on TeamSpeak 5, right?
I think we all have TeamSpeak 3.
we all have 3.
Oh, perfect. All right. Well, for anybody who doesn't have 3, please go ahead and I put the link in company chat. Go ahead and download it. and make sure that you guys are using that because that's what I will be going over on the stream. Actually, I'm just gonna do like a fresh install probably. Start to finish, so I don't have anything special.
I was
Hello?
having this problem
Internet?
trying to download TeamSpeak yesterday. I had to use 5. I couldn't download 3 for whatever reason.
Hello, internet?
Yeah, I was having the same issue yesterday. I didn't really know how to.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had the
So
same
that
issue
download
too.
link was not working for me either. I got a different one. I'm gonna send it to you.
You can right click on it, guys. It's just the button that's not working. If you right click on it and go to save link as, it actually pops up.
That's really stupid.
Yep. Fucking websites that don't work. 101. But you guys probably won't remember that. So if you want to go ahead and post that other link, go ahead
Yeah.
and do that as well.
It's in company chat.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Do 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 do.
And it's actually a newer version of the one that you're downloading.
Well, maybe that's
Do
why
you
this
have
link
a
isn't
link
working.
posted to the TeamSpeak server you're inviting us to, or is that not posted yet?
I
It's
think
posted in
Lucky
the
has
work
the
comps
information.
usually. I'll find it.
It's posted in announcements.
But I will be going over like inputting that as well. So all right, I'll just go ahead and put
Keys, do we want to make a new channel for this shit? Just
up.
temporary channel so people can look at it if we need to post things and then delete it later.
That's fine. You can.
Bam. Right. Where did that go? All right, I'm just gonna put it in this random folder, but you guys should probably just let it go in the default location.
All right, let's look at this Swoop workshop text channel if you need stuff.
I personally don't use the overlay, but the overlay does work a lot like Discord. So if you guys like that, it is more resource hungry. And personally, I don't like to run too much whenever I'm playing New World because it runs like ass anyways. And of course, it still shows skinned. That's crazy. All right, let me get rid of that. All right, and of course, close. Okay, so it did save my settings. That's okay. All right, so we'll just go like top to bottom here on settings. We'll first start with like this is the main screen. Whenever you guys get it open, yours is. Let me get the skin changed real quick though. Let's do mono. All right. No, it doesn't look that bad, but this is pretty similar to what yours is gonna look like. You won't have any bookmarks here, so you can go to the first thing you'll want to do is go to manage bookmarks. Whenever you get into manage bookmarks, you will want to you can just go ahead and create a new bookmark. You don't have to have a folder. I just have a folder. Just create a new bookmark. You can name the bookmark for whatever the TeamSpeak is. Your nickname is what people see inside of TeamSpeak is like what you are. So what I suggest is doing like your name, and then if you're a healer, your name, and then doing like group one healer, right? Or you could do like group 2 IGVG, whatever it is. I personally like the concept of putting your group number and what you do in there because there's going to be a lot of people fighting inside of TeamSpeak. trying to find your role because they probably want to turn you down. So some people turn. This is mostly for point group actually. So for point group, like putting your roles in there is pretty helpful. I would say also probably for kill squads and the +2s. All right, so server nickname or address. This is going to be the IP address. So you would just take that IP and then you would paste it here. And I believe the password is capital O R. And then apply, okay, and then you're gonna have a bookmark here, so you never have to do that again. You can go to your bookmark and get connected just like that. Okay. I'm gonna connect to my original one, and then you see
Swoop,
how
I don't know if
my
you're
name
aware,
changes.
but if you're on TeamSpeak 5, it doesn't require a password, and that could be a problem.
That could also be a problem, yeah. Yeah, definitely. I don't. Are you talking about like our TeamSpeak doesn't require a password on?
Your TeamSpeak does not require a password on TeamSpeak 5.
Yeah, I'll have to let Impala know. He runs it. Let me mute up in here. So yeah, as you can see, like my name is that. Guys can feel free to join in there. Just try and not talk or mute your mics. But yeah, this is what it's going to look like. You can switch channels by just clicking. Pretty simple stuff. Like +2 right channels, BB comms, because we used to run those. We pretty much just run 10-man calls inside of group 1. So that's that. That's how TeamSpeak looks. Now we'll get into like the nitty gritty. There's a couple of annoying things that TeamSpeak has, and I want to find those for you guys. So you guys aren't like, what in the world is that noise? Everybody hates it, including me. Yep. So it's going to be under, yeah, let's go ahead and talk about that. You go to tools and options. That's where all your options are going to be at. And then under the whisper category, you're going to want to turn off play notify sound when receiving a whisper, because every single time the shot caller says something or calls out to main army, you're going to hear a psst like that, and it's going to be very, very annoying. I also turn off the always show whisper history because I just don't need it. So that's whispers. That's how you talk and how you basically can talk to other channels and anybody inside of the TeamSpeak that you want to by using a keybind, and then the whatever you send out whenever you use that keybind will not go into the group that you're in. It'll only go to him or wherever you send it. So playback, I would suggest just using whatever your headset device is. But a lot of people complain about like having noise from like other users, like not having like noise suppression in here, because obviously it's not Discord, right? So you can put your noise suppression like right here. And you can do automatic voice volume leveling as well. And that will help out a lot as far as like reducing some of that noise. What else? Move on to capture. So capture is going to be your device, and for everybody in here, I would suggest to remove background noise if you are used to running crisp inside of Discord. Make sure that you have this selected, and then you can do some test, right?
Yes.
Whenever you do, just check and see if you have any noise with like key close. All right. Stop that. You can also do like echo cancellation if you have like a reverb or anything like that. That's that. So your device will be here, and then just select. You guys can use default if that's what you use. Right. Personally, I would leave it on activity, but you can also do push to talk, all the same stuff. You would just do like your key here. And I'm not going to do that. So voice activity for me. Moving on, apply. Okay, now let's talk about whispers and kind of how they work. Actually, let's just set one up and then we'll talk about it. All right, so if you go into whispers and whisper list here, you will have this window pop into the behind of everything, because that's where it needs to. All right, you'll see this neat window. Whenever you get into this neat window, for shot callers, you're gonna want to have it set up like this, Lucky. That's pretty much
Yep, I already got it.
the way that always works. For everybody else, if you want to set up like a whisper to Lucky or to me or to really, you can also set it up to groups if you want to. But I would not suggest doing that just because the whole group isn't going to want to hear you. I would set it up to whoever you want to talk to. So like group 9 and group 10, you guys can have like comms within each other, so that way you guys can ask each other for help. You would do new. You would do a keybind. Right, so you're gonna want to press your keybind. Insert hotkey and hotkey profile. Please choose where the hotkey should be inserted. That is to default. Okay, right. And then you're going to have this window pop up. It's showing you your hotkey that you press to talk to that person. Don't worry about this reply key. I personally never use that, to be honest. So then this is where it kind of gets tricky. You can either, for you to select the client or the user that you want to talk to, they have to be inside of the TeamSpeak with you at the time that you set this up. So as you can see here, like I only see these people, like obviously unless like you have like a contact and you
Get in
could
there, Lucky.
add them on. But if you don't have a contact, then they need to be in here as a client. And then you would then just drag that client over. So say I want to do it to rookie, right? You drag that client over. And my hotkey is, was that right bracket? Right bracket. I'll apply it. I'll do okay. And this is where we will see how it functions inside of here. So I can go into any channel that I want to and unmute myself. And then rookie, and I'll press this. And you see how it goes red? Now I'm talking to Ricky. Even though he has his speakers muted so he can't hear me. But yep, if I press that, it talks to Ricky. And you can also know that it's going through just by seeing the red dot. Doesn't matter, like I said, what channel you're in to do that. Does not matter. And it will not go into the channel that you're in. The other thing you can do is whisper to whole entire groups. So if like right side kill squads has like a kill squad leader that's like leading all those groups, I don't know. Anything that you guys want to work out to better communicate within each other and to ask each other for help, I would suggest doing it. Get as much help as you can on comms. So that is whisper list and how to set them up. I want to say, okay, let's talk about that. Remove this. I'm just going to remove that and keep my call one on, and I'm going to close this. All right, so whenever you have like everybody inside of your group, if you right click on it, you can also change their nickname, like if they don't have it already set. But I think you can change the nickname, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe only, yeah, maybe not. All right. You can right click on them though and go to change volume. And this is like the volume for insanity. So if you need to turn that person down for whatever reason, this is where you can control the other user's volume. Right, and then if you just want it to go back to normal, you just press restore. I think going to be pretty much it on TeamSpeak. As far as like OBS, you just can either capture it as a application source for audio, and it should play back fine just like that. Let me just make sure that I'm not forgetting anything.
You might want to mute me, Swoop. I'm kind of a loose cannon.
Oh, you're all good, man. You're all good.
I'm just.
I don't mind loose cannons, man. How do you make it dark? Yeah, there's some skins that you can, or some themes that you can get. But you want to go to, I think it's like add-ons where I went, and then I went to, which one am I using? I don't know which one I'm using, but it's one of these, and I think you just go to like browse online. This might not even work, right? Yeah, this doesn't even work because it's so old. Just go to TeamSpeak 3. Yep, go ahead.
To design and then get more style sheets and icons. It'll bring up web browser and you can do it that way.
Yep, there you go. That's where you want to be. This is where you want to be at. Yeah, it's right here. And there is like I think a spot in here where it tells you like how to do it. Probably under support. Yep, getting started. Not that difficult. It is like obviously more old school. But it works. It always functions well. And I don't usually ever have a problem with it. The only thing that I ever have a problem with is myself and making my mic work. So it's on me. Outside of that, let's do. I think I had this one on. Bye. Right. Dark. Bye. Yes. Outside of that, that is TeamSpeak. And why in the world are you like this? TeamSpeak and Whispers. Is there any? Does anybody have any questions about TeamSpeak outside of that, or no?
Can I turn off the notification sound that says user to enter your channel and whatnot?
Yeah, that's under notifications. Because I have them turned off too. Other receive the folks. This empty status. Public client connection.
I think it's
Connected.
probably chat. No, it's not channel. Yeah,
Moves.
connection. Connected to server, disconnected from server, lost connection to server.
Yeah,
I think.
probably. Yeah, I mean, you can just
That is right.
probably turn most of those off. Deleted, edited, moved. Connection, connected server disconnected. Yeah, I mean, any of these notifications that you don't want to hear, like, go ahead and turn them off. I honestly go up here to the right, and I do like play no sounds, and I think that's I have all the sounds deactivated in here. I don't use any notification sounds in there. Really, no reason to. Any other questions about TeamSpeak, guys?
This is a stupid question, but how do I leave a channel?
Yep, you just double click it. Double click wherever you want to go.
How do I leave the channel?
How do you
Go to
leave the
connect. Go
server?
to connections and disconnect from current.
Ah, I see. I'm a
Yep.
little foolish.
You can also right click the tab that doesn't look like a tab up there. And if you, oh, maybe that's not it. Where's it at? Where's it at? Right click. This? Nope, I don't even know where it is. There's somewhere here where you can click it though. You can definitely do it up here. He was saying under connections and disconnect. Think that is it for TeamSpeak then. All right, let's move on. Bam, out, close, and so we'll do raid plans. We're just going to focus on the defensive strategy here, meta, comp wars, how it looks. Obviously, you guys have been in some comp wars. You guys have seen it. You guys have seen like the wide fight, the weak side fight. You guys know all that basic stuff. We're just pretty much going to talk about the raid plan. I know that Lucky likes to keep it super simple.
Accurate.
Yep, we'll talk about his raid plan. We will, because he's the main caller over there. We will talk about his raid plan, go over that, and we'll just hopefully I can get like some questions out of you guys. That's what I'm hoping for. So defense, let's make this a little bit larger. 3 seconds.
You have the edit link, so you can do whatever you need to.
I just made a copy of it.
Hmm.
Yep. So default C prio, like we'll just that just means to drop A. What I do whenever like it's well, what most armies are doing right now is that they either send this weak side team over there to match, and they also send like these two quad DPS. Are we running +2s on quads right now, Lucky?
I think we're currently running +1s.
Yeah. So +1 in every group, right?
Well, not we aren't on the bottom quads yet. Just mostly roster limitation.
Okay.
The top
Yep.
quads we have a +1 spear on both top left and top right.
But yeah, 7
Okay.
has been contesting A though.
Okay, yeah, then that's perfect. Yeah, like meta right now is just obviously like to add those +1s in each quad. If we can't roster it, then that's okay. That's not our fault. But then like you do like a +2 over here, and then they go over there and match. That doesn't always work. Obviously, like you just drop the point. You don't like full wipe as a group and try and save A. Just drop the point, head back over and do your job. Play for weak side. Outside of that, 10 usually gets dragged over to C. And usually in comp wars, you'll see some C tick pretty quick. probably like within like the first 2 minutes over there. If their group 10 is winning, so if their wide fight is winning, then you'll see point tick over here. If your wide fight is winning, you will see your wide fight somewhere like right here. Then you'll have like your inner lane. Inner lane is group 8 or 9.
8.
Group
Maybe
8.
it's the 8.
Okay, so inner lane is group 8, which is playing like nets to the quads, right?
Correct.
Yep.
All right, perfect. I just want to make sure. Okay, and then you have 9 in that middle lane. Okay. So 9, this is where like you guys might want to set up a whisper to group 10. So if group 10's over here, but you're assisting 8 over here at the quad, like 9 can't see you, group 10, if you need help, and maybe another group comes over there, that's where you can have like that whisper set up to group 9, and you can be like, hey, yo, we need you over here if you can come.
Yeah,
And
we
then
had that. We had that set up last night.
nice. That's awesome. Perfect. Yeah. So I would suggest that for like I mean, me, I'm big on comms. Like the more communication I can get, the better for me. But obviously, like some people sensory overload, and I get it. So just don't do it if it's not gonna work for you. But also like talk to your army about it. Like talk to your friends about it, and see if like it would help you guys be more effective. All right, 8 playing inner. 8 playing inner. The inner fight is pretty important right now because the inner fight is kind of the reason if they're getting kills on healers, then they are the reason really why like the quads will lose. So that inner team, group 8, if you guys are able to get those kills on healers and not just like pressuring the other team's inner lane, if you can like just sneak a kill on a healer, that's really beneficial. Honestly, it's more beneficial than like giving up a little bit of space up here, as long as like we're not giving up space up here and letting them full collapse our road. The crashes, you guys have already learned about that because the recrash meta. So obviously, like baiting out their crash is BIS right now, and playing the crash after they crash, and then obviously you don't want to do that for 5 minutes. You don't want to do that even for like 3 minutes. You really want to wait like 2.5 minutes, and then like if you don't see a crash, like you bait it out, you get your group 1, group 2 point groups to do it. They bait it out, and then main call it out to quads, and then quads just collapse on that. Moving on. Splits. How were the splits last night? That's one thing that I really didn't get to see.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
How long did
They
you guys hold on double?
Not sure. 10 minutes maybe.
Think like 6
Okay.
minutes
Thought it was more than 6.
Okay.
before they took B.
No, it was definitely like 6 minutes.
Oh,
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't bad. There was like we rotated fine, and then whenever we went back to B, they kind of pushed back over to C, and then we got control. When we finally got control there, there was just a few of us that were
we lost B at 9 minutes.
okay, 9 minutes, but yeah, we
Fuck
didn't
you guys.
we didn't rush back over to B as when we should have.
Well, I think that they left. I think
9:30.
I think that we left 15 and they left 20.
Yeah, and they had sent all the respawns B.
We
And I
got
mean,
caught
like,
in the
you-
numbers mismatch and ended up just giving B to save C ultimately at the end.
Yeah.
it really is like hard to not just nix out B, because like if they're playing C smart, then like they're just getting enough influence on it, and then they're just running around and making you waste your time over here, right? And they're hopping back on and running around, making you waste your time. That's really what they should be doing. If they are doing that, then like it is hard not to just nix B unless you're just hard winning and there's like an army diff. Things that can make rotates better for the shot caller and better for the army though is that obviously 9 and 10 have that whisper set up to the shot caller. I would honestly pick one person from that group, one person from 9 and 10. You guys figure it out who's going to tell the shot caller whenever you guys need rotates, right? That way he doesn't have 2 people, one person in both groups saying, oh, we need 3 groups, and then, oh no, we need 2 groups, right? Pick one person out of these 2 groups to do it. And then also For us, I'm used to having Curvy in the top right quad, wherever like our hold point is. They'll play this top right quad, and then whenever the quad groups rotate over, Curvy will then rotate over. Sometimes he goes whenever 9 and 10 are over there just to see if I need to rotate early. And he'll give me like exact numbers of what groups I should send over there. So you can put like a soldier in that group to calm to you too lucky, and then that
Yeah,
just
that's what
makes the
Shane does for
rotates a
me.
little bit smoother. Yep, then you've already got it set up. That's perfect. That's exactly how it should work. I would suggest for this last rotate here, 4-6, I would change that to point group.
We've had issues with it in the past. I like it. Not everybody does.
Okay. I mean, as long as you're confident with it and you like it and it works,
No, I
then
like point
roll
group.
with it.
I was
Let me
never
ask you
ridden
why.
because
Oh,
I like
why
to have
point group?
control.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, we
like
literally lost a point that way the other day because I didn't know what was going on.
that is the main thing, right? So like once you send this many people over there, right? Once you have this many people over there, because you got to think like it's really 8, 9, 10. That's half your army, right? So you've already got half your army over here, anyways. The shot caller should be then like calling on this point, right? And then not only does it like give him the overview of the battlefield and like he knows what's going on over here and he's not blind. It also allows you guys to have like calls on your point instead of you guys just kind of like free roaming as groups over here. Even though you have half your army over here, if the caller isn't over here, you guys are just kind of free roaming, right? You guys are just doing whatever. You're all over the place. But if the caller comes over, then he like brings it together.
That makes sense. Sounds good.
Agreed.
Yeah. And also, I mean, like sustain, obviously, like point group is going to give you sustain on the point. You don't want to have the point tick up because you guys can't sit on it because they have a point group and 4 kill squads over there that are just murdering everybody outside of it. And then their point group is just sitting on it for free, right? So things like that. Uh, any other questions about like rotations and stuff? Yes. You guys
If
had
you're like rotating back to C or B after you like established control on C, is there
Yep.
a specific way to approach the point? Like, are you looking to wrap their road, or are you looking to wrap your road, or just beeline to the point, or?
So I take 2 things into the equation whenever that happens, right? So I take where they are, so where they are in relation to the point, they're back in their road or if they're up in our road, and then I take spawn times. So if spawn times are coming up in 5, or like they're coming up in 20, if they're, let's just say that spawn times are 5 seconds actually. Let's do 5. Spawn times are 5 seconds. You guys are right here about to be at bond, so like he needs to be falling somewhere for you guys to crash at because you guys have a huge rotate coming over. And let's say that they are at the back of point. Spawns are up in 5. I would honestly just have you guys all wrap into like bot left because they're gonna try and crash you extremely hard to save that ticket B, right? So you guys just take the safe spot and tip tap toe and stabilize on the point. And then obviously, like if they have the point at like 90%, let's just say they have it at 90 and you guys are full rotating back and you guys get to step here, they are going to full crash you. There's no way that they don't. I mean, I think any smart army would full crash that because they have everybody stepping and they want to take it. You guys just basically full posture up and survive it. And then you recrash and kind of coin flip it. If you win it, you win it. If you don't, you don't. If spawns are long, that kind of gives you like more options to play around with. If they're like back up, let's say like their front of point and they have full road control, I would personally send the army to their road, and then I would collapse on their side instead. So their respawns are going to be coming this way, and they're probably going to think they're free, and you guys just kind of come into it like this, and then into the point. So usually I'll collapse like their road if they're up in our road. And if they're in their road, then I will try and find a safe spot to step at top. Or at bottom, yes, at bottom.
And as you're coming back as a group, are you looking to like kill people together as a Zerg on the way as you wrap, or are you just looking to run past people?
Depends on how high the point tick is.
Okay.
If you know that you trying to stagger or kill somebody is going to risk you being able to step with the army to save the point, then don't do it. But if like you have the time, like the point's only at like 35% and you're right here, then like obviously that's not an issue. Hit that guy a couple times, get over there. But if the point's at like 85% and you're here, you probably shouldn't be hitting anything. You should probably be heading over. Yeah, and that kind of goes like for rotations as well, like rotating. You guys really shouldn't be hitting anybody out here if this point is like past, I would say 50%. You just be full rotating, heading over. All right, any other questions on rotates? All right, perfect. All right, so the stay point, side point, obviously you guys know it pretty well. You guys still have 8, 9, 10 looking to help 4, 5. 4, 5. Okay. All right, so 10 is kind of playing this top area, and they're going to obviously look to collapse on their road and kind of keep their oppo teams from getting past like this 4, 5 area. 8, 9, 6, 7, clear out road. Road. 10. Okay. All right, so 8, 9, you're looking to assist 8, 9, help our road and then push forward. Okay. All right. So pretty much 8 and 9 is always going look at our road. If our road's collapsed on or like full rotated by them, then 8 and 9, you're gonna assist on that, right? 6 and 7, you're also going to make sure that you prio keeping road clear. You guys are honestly kind of like the front line, right? So 8 and 9, you guys should, even though like you might be full winning oppo and you might be all the way up here, they might have their full army all the way up here. And honestly, like even though you guys are winning this fight, winning right here isn't as important as making sure that you keep them out of here. Because usually the initial healer pocket is like top left a point for us. Well, top left to them, bot right for us. Like most of our healers are gonna like to sit here. So if they push through our road or if they push through ramparts and get into our road, then our healers get collapsed on. So 8 and 9, you guys definitely want to be making sure that you stop them if they are in our road. And then 6 and 7, this is where like a group 7 comms to 8 and 9 is pretty beneficial, because group 7 can say, hey, we're about to have like 3 groups coming into our road, you might want to come and help, before he even has to tell the shot caller, right? So then, you guys say that, and then 8 and 9 can be like, hey, Swoop, they're in our road, we're rotating to our road, and then boom, you guys just saved me a shot call that I don't have to make anymore because you guys are already heading over there. But also, like, obviously, like, just calm that stuff out. And really, that goes for anybody. Shot caller doesn't see everything. The shot caller might be on a spawn timer. Like, you never know. If you're seeing something that's like a major issue, feel free to calm it out, and let me know or let you know. And then, obviously, if I know or if I need to change something, then I will. Outside of that, I would say these right side quads here. So right side quads, like I was saying before, you guys should always look to assist your oppo team because you don't want them to get up here. So you guys are kind of doing the same thing that 6 and 7 is doing for our road, except you're doing it for oppo, right? To keep them out of here. Any questions so far?
So, say the shot caller calls all kill squads our road. Should 10 still just assist 5 and 4?
It really depends. All right. So if the shot caller is saying like all kill squads are road, or if the shot caller is saying like the whole entire army are road, look at the battlefield, right? And realize that like if their army is all right here and like they full won this and like they have point ticked up to like 25%, right? They full won this, they're pushing us back. Then I would say go back here, right? Because if you guys go up here, it's just a death wish, right?
Yeah,
You're not going to get any value from doing that. But however, on the flip side of that, if there's not too much going on up here and like he's just calling you guys back here for like 2 to 3 groups that are back here, you might get more value as a kill squad to come up here and find one of these quad healers because there's not a ton of people up here. There's not a lot of red. You guys will get more value from doing it that way. Really, like it's you guys obviously always have the end say as to what happens with your group. So just make sure that like whenever you're making the decision as a group on what to do, just make sure that like you have a reason and a purpose behind it. But if you're just entering yourself into a sea of red, then obviously that's not the right thing.
Yeah, I'm not
But if
sure how
you
Swoop does it, but I give kill squads a lot of autonomy. I'll try to direct you, but you guys have the end say for that. You guys
Yep.
know what your group's doing better than I do.
Yep.
I have a
I'm
question
pretty much
for.
Mhm.
Oh, I can ask it after you're done.
No, go ahead.
So I've been playing in like group 4 position, and when it's on C, it becomes very hard to play. And I've been playing like on point almost 100% of the time because I think that that's what I've been asked to do. But then I noticed that like where the group 4 circle is, there's like fire stabs, there's like 4 or 5 healers, there's like spears, and they're like it's really hard to play in this quad, and I'm not sure what I should do. If I'm allowed to go attack those people, like am I allowed to step off and mess with them? Or should I just like play somewhere on the point safe? Or should I just try to hold the space and like just try to live as best I can? I'm not sure.
So the left side quads are some of the hardest quads to play on defense, right? Because you're constantly going to be the front line for whatever's hitting your army over here, right? Outside of like kill squads and stuff, right? So never, I would say never go into anything that you know that you're going to lose. So if there's 4 fire stats over here and you have a whole nother like quad group coming at you, I would say as a group, you guys should make the decision to concede some space and go into this top right area, let them come over here, and then you guys as an army, right? So you'll then have like some oppo team help, maybe some inner lane help, and then maybe some point team help because hopefully they see by the time you guys concede that space that you guys need help up there, right? So it's the shot caller's job to realize where the army needs help at. So if you guys are up here getting absolutely peltered and you guys are just like on Giga Farm and you guys are just getting farmed at every single respawn, right? Like stop going up there and dying, just concede the space and then let the shot caller or make the shot caller realize that you guys are getting absolutely farmed up here because obviously if the shot caller isn't assisting you guys up here, then probably why there's so much pressure up here, right? So if the shot caller does realize that, then he'll probably start putting like some pressure on top left. But if you guys don't ever concede that space and they're always getting free kills up here, then they're just gonna sit here and just keep sitting here.
Okay,
Also,
so
yeah.
So like, and should I be as a quad bruiser like on point 100% of the time, and I shouldn't be stepping off unless I'm like about to die?
I mean that depends on point tick really. I would say a point is actively ticking. So if you see like the tick up here, and you have your group healer up, your group healer is up and healing you. They haven't like came off respawn, but they're like up in a spot to heal you. Then you should be on point if the point is ticking, right? Because you want to have as many people, bruisers wise, IDVG wise, to stop that point from ticking. You'll see the little like tick mark up here to stop that point from ticking, and you stepping might be the reason. However, if you don't have your healer there, that is a reason for you not to be stepping. Because if you step and your healer's not there, and then for whatever reason they crash on you, then you die, and now you guys are off sync for respawns, which is what you never want as a group.
Question
When
about
you mean point tick, do you mean like if it's actually spinning, like if it's stalled at 25%, it's not going up or down, I can do whatever I want, or
I would stay on at that point
You want to
until you've won the point.
okay, so if it's only step off if it's like pure blue.
Only step off if it's pure blue. No, not necessarily. No, like, all right, let's do this.
You can
in-
step off if it isn't actively contested by a large enough force to, require, you sitting on point.
Yeah, pretty much. So like if the point is actively ticking, right? So it's going red, but it's at like 10%, right? Like you don't have to worry about stepping too much then. But if it's at 50%, then like that's whenever you should really be stepping. Really, like 25% is like the max where you should let that go. But on the flip side of that, right? Like if the point's all the way up at 75% and it's not actively ticking anymore, but it's ticked that high, but you guys have full cleared the point, so there's literally none of the army over here, and they have to do a regroup. Then you can get off the point because it's the point group's job to de-tick it at that point. Like you guys won the point, right? So as long as you guys have won the point and it's not ticking, then you can step off. If you haven't won the point and it is ticking, you should be stepping as long as you have a healer. Is that clear enough? I hope so.
Yeah. Thanks.
Quick
Alright.
question here about for the caller. How would a caller
Mm-hmm.
call if the example is top left there? If they're just keep getting completely farmed there, how would a caller call to assist that portion of the group?
Yeah, so if like top left is just sitting like gigaformed here, I mean the first thing you do is like you just have point group step in top left, right? Because those guys trying to attack like point group with their sword and shield, it's gonna be a lot harder of a group for them to just gigaform, right? And then basically point group will take the space for group 4. And then once point group establishes on top left, then group 4 can come in after like we wipe it up and clear it up like as an army, right? And then group 4 kind of just holds it, right? Then if group 4 loses it because they send like 20 more people there, right? That means that you guys are playing too far up here or playing too far in the quad and not conceding that space. Like if it's a fight that you guys know, I mean, you guys should be able to realize whenever there's like 15 people coming right here that you guys probably shouldn't be playing like out here by bonfire. You should concede the space, find your army, look back, see if you have like some backup there. Because if you don't have backup and it's just you guys as a 5-man group are just going to get wiped. A big thing is like just paying attention to the battlefield and what's behind you and in front of you.
So, like in this scenario where you're using the example of like being off the point, I'm
Mhm.
like never. I'm always on the point. Like our group is 100% on the point. We're never where the number 4 in the circle is, and people play there for free all the time. So I don't know if I'm allowed to step off and kill those people, or if I'm just supposed to stay on the point and then I guess retreat when it becomes too crazy.
Yeah. So basically, if the point is ticking, if the point is ticking up, like they are ticking the point up, then you guys should be on the point. If the point is not ticking and you guys have cleared everybody off the point, all the enemies off the point, then you guys can push off the point. There's no reason for you guys to be on the point if you guys have killed everything on the point and they're just up here, right? That's whenever you can step off. You don't always have to be on the point. You always have to be on the point whenever it is actively ticking and you have a healer. But if you don't have a healer, then you as a group shouldn't really be stepping on the point. Like you should be playing the edges, right? Depending on how much tick it is. If it's 90% tick, then yeah, just step on the point. But if it's like 75% tick and you guys don't have a group healer up here, you guys shouldn't play the point. You guys should wait for your healer to get back to you. And then once your healer gets back to you, then you start stepping on the point. And then, maybe the point's at 85% by then, but at least then you guys didn't ent as a group and have 4 people die whenever your healer just comes out. So your healer has nobody to heal. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So let's clarify it one more time. If the point is actively ticking, and they are on your point and they are ticking it up, you as a quad group should be on the point as long as you have a healer. As long as you have a healer that is alive, right? If you do not have a healer, you should not be on the point whenever it is actively ticking unless it is past like 90%. It's like unsavable unless you get on the point. You can feel free to step off the point as a quad as long as you guys have full won the point. and there's nobody else on the point to kill, and it's not ticking. Then you guys can step off, unless, like, obviously, if your shot caller is calling you somewhere, then go there. But if he's not, then like, feel free to step off. Yeah, always being on the point is like a misconception, because like that is how this meta is played because of crash, because of the crashes. You do not always have to like have your toes on the point though as a bruiser. All right, let's keep it going. Any other questions though? I'm gonna go to the next slide. But any other questions?
Yeah, Swoop, I got one real quick.
Yep.
So you mentioned, so I'm the other bruiser for cash, but you mentioned dragging them over to top right. Doesn't that kind of create, like, so if I'm getting my ass kicked and I'm trying to get over to right to get some safety or some support, I'm kind of on the defense, right? I'm probably half health or who knows what it is, rended, you name it. That being said, don't I kind of create a clump by running in there and then, and in reality, a bad clump on our end? Like, unless you recognize it and be able to crash them, right? But we're half health or we're low running into top right who's doing their own thing, and now there's at least 5, 7, maybe 8 people there. Doesn't that create them an opportunity to wipe top point?
Well, that's where you have to look at it from like the other side of that, right? So if you don't concede that space, if you don't go back to them and ask them for help, you guys just die and they just go there anyways, right? So then there's still 10 on 5. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I just wanted clarification on that, kind of the good versus bad.
Yeah, I mean, like, you might as well go over there and hopefully you guys as a 10 man can take on the 10 man, right? Because you're saying like they're fighting 5, they're 5 on 5, right? But these guys over here that are coming at you guys in that top left quad, you guys are taking the brunt force of their entire army, right? Whereas like these guys, once they get a 5 man on them, they probably just sit there and they play 5 on 5. But usually, what happens like in the top left quad is that both top quads, like their side, both top quads, will go as a 10 man and they'll run through you as a 10 man first, especially if you don't have help from these guys, and then they'll run through them, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
So yeah, you want that top right quad's assistance, especially like in those first crashes. So yeah.
So, just to add a few things that I don't really know, but if they concede that space back into the other quad, can they? I mean, can they calm that to Lucky and like, hey,
Yep.
look, like they might crash us up here, so they could maybe set up a counter crash there.
Exactly what I would be coming to my shot
Dude,
caller. I would
feed me as
say,
much as possible.
yep, I would say, hey, they have full control of our road. We have to back up, and we're going into Oppo. And then that's gonna make your shot caller be like, oh fuck, all right, they're pushing into Oppo. They have our road, or they have full control of their road. Sorry, they have full control of their road, and they're pushing into Oppo now. That's whenever your shot caller is gonna start like looking up there and seeing what he needs to do to win that fight and keep them out of this pocket. Yeah, so feed the information. Feed the information.
I got a quick question with the same kind of thing if you got for this
No,
one.
yeah, I got plenty of time. Go
So
ahead.
we were on bottom left quad.
Yep.
And our healer was having a really hard time staying over kind of on that left side, because they had, pretty much full control of that left side. So he was basically in bottom right. Is it kind of the same concept where like we kind of have to concede a little bit and then get some assistance maybe from like one of the inner or outer kill squad lanes and kind of say, hey, like we really need some help clearing this out? And then would it make sense if points not really ticking for us to push into our road and kind of start trying to clear some of that and then push them up and out like towards top quad or out towards bond? Like how would
I
you
mean,
handle that situation if that whole side is really controlled by them?
Yeah, you're bot left, right?
Yeah. Yep. Right where you're at.
Yeah, so really your healer should be able to reach you guys with anything that he needs to from like basically where the road starts on the other side. So he should be able to play like in this this bot right area anyways. He should be able to play there and still hit you. But you guys also as a group shouldn't really be like pushing too far past. I would go like right before the bonfire, like literally maybe 10 feet past the road, and then I would make them come into you at that point. Were you guys going past that? Because that's
No, we
That's what
weren't
I'm
going
thinking.
past that. What we were having the issue was we were pretty much on point the whole time, and we kept our toes on point, and they were
Okay.
able just to stand right off of point and just like either cook us with flamethrowers or the spears were rending us a whole bunch, and then we could kind of like
Okay.
rotate like to bottom right, but
I found
then
like
that whole left side
yeah.
was kind of getting like bottom left was getting like kind of overwhelmed during the last war that we just had. So we are kind of trying to figure out how
Yeah.
we deal with that without conceding like half of the point, and then also top quad now is severely overwhelmed if they rotate up and kind of bounce up and down, right?
Yeah, you would depending on what the point tick is at, we'll just say that the point tick is at 0.
Yep.
Just play your life and live, because what you guys are waiting on is for the shot caller to call 8 and 9 back into your road, because really 8 and 9 should be back here assisting you as well, which should make it a full on like kill squad fight back here. So the kill squads will be fighting each other outside of 10. 10 will still be up here. And that sounds like the assistance that you guys were missing in that war.
And then
Did you?
for up, if we don't have anyone there, I'm assuming we would just kind of rotate up and kind of help top quads and push that if our quad's totally empty, or bottom right if they need help, or wherever we just kind of move if our
Wherever
side's
you can stay
clear.
alive at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're completely overran and you don't have the help that you need here, completely play your life, and then you tell the shot caller. You say, "Hey, we're completely overrun on bonfire. We're gonna push in the top, but just so you know, they're taking our road." And
Okay.
then shot
And then that
caller's
way
gonna
we
say
can
8 and 9.
work
Where
on
are
calling
you?
those guys maybe over if we need to or something if they're really focused on the right side. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes,
Yep.
we
Thanks.
were getting aped that whole time, that whole war. It was really rough.
And that happens, especially like for newer armies and just like it's just learning the ropes. I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff into the stuff, and then the meta's changing every week, so it's a fucking nut house.
I have one one last question.
No, you're good, man. You're good.
on
You're
final
good.
point.
The side
Just
point is
because
super
like
important.
the side point's so important, right?
The man asked for
So-
questions.
Yep.
So,
Give him his question,
okay.
bro.
So let's say you're kind of getting towards the point where you're losing C,
Mhm.
and like you've kind of lost Oppo as kill squad, and you kind of have 8 and 9 kind of fighting in that space between ramparts and point a lot, right? Because that's just like where they've got pushed back to.
Yep.
So for like group 10, and even like 9, like what's the best way to kind of like re-enter that space? Like let's say like points kind of handled itself, we have a second to breathe and kind of like reaggress. Like should we try to kind of like get outside and put that inward pressure in?
There's really like 2 different ways to approach it, and I mean, like, I'm not a kill squad player, but this is how I would probably want my kill squads to react to it. Because if they are pressuring like where your pocket should be at, right?
Right.
That means that your healers on point are uncomfortable, or they've like already found another place to heal at, but that your road is going to be overrun. So 8 and 9, say you're coming off respawn, you can either like wrap this way or jump over, right? And then hit them from the back, and then force them to come back to you, right? So you'll hit them, pressure them, and then run back. So you're going to force those guys to come back, and then you're going to do the same thing until one of you wins, right?
Yeah.
Or on the flip side of that, 8 and 9 could go on bonfire side, and their healer pocket's probably going to be up here healing for free because you guys have no oppo pressure, right?
Yeah.
And then you guys could kind of just snowball,
So
hopefully
just spend the
snowball,
points.
and win.
So I've seen
Yeah, you're
both,
gonna flip roads.
I've been through both of those calls, and like
Mhm.
like how, like I guess like what's like a good point to like decide to do like the road swap on defense? Because the road swap feels like kind of bad on defense, right? Like if you kind of like rotate through the bonfire side with 8 and 9.
Flipping roads is something that you get forced to do.
Yeah.
So it's never something that you want to do, but like if the point's at 75% tick and there's no way that you're gonna establish space over here, then you
So
flip roads.
is there should like So like make a comm like we've lost Oppo, like they should, our healers should be expecting to kind of like start doing the point span, or
Yeah, I mean, hopefully your healers like just instinctively know. Like healers, like you guys should be actively watching Oppo, because if a road swap or a road flip is about to happen, like healers should know that shit like 2 minutes before, because that's the scariest thing to them, right?
Right.
So yeah, like if most healers should know that, but yeah, like you can let your shot caller know that you've lost Oppo that hard. But usually your shot caller also knows whenever like a road flip is about to happen too, because it's just the point is just snowballing so hard, right?
because I just wanted to talk about that point, because like that's something like a lot of kill squads I think are having trouble with, is when you've lost to that point and like there's big tick and you've kind of lost control up to the road and you can't really fight your way back in. Like I guess like maybe communicate and then do the road swap.
I would also say for like 8 and 9, like once you guys get pushed back here, it's almost inevitable that you guys are as groups are going to be staggered from each other. And then maybe within your groups you guys are staggered from your healer, right? I would say like for 8 and 9 to have like that whisper set up and just be like, yo, we are all going to meet as soon as we get out of the fucking gate on this push. We're not going to push back in unless we have 10 people, right? Because if you just keep sending it 3 on 4, 7 on 10, right? Like you guys are just gonna lose those fights. So if you guys are just like one after another after another after another losing fights over here, and like they keep pressuring you and pressuring you, just group 9's lead, talk to group 8, be like, yo, like we're gonna stop right here and we're just gonna meet up like at our road, and then we'll push into Oppo and take it like as a 10-man instead of all staggered. Make sure that you're doing stuff like that too.
Nice, thank you.
Yep. Feel free, guys.
Basically-
Anything else? Anything else?
Nah, I just gotta buy
you
a
able
separate
to-
keyboard for all these fucking keybinds.
Just
Yeah.
global everybody.
Yeah.
I just global, to be honest, bro, because it's so hard to try and get a whisper for every single person.
I got here
Yeah.
late. Can we start over?
No.
Well,
Are you
actually,
able to
I mean,
see the
I
Swoop
will
channel?
touch on that real quick. You guys like talking about like globals. You do not have to do globals. You can also just cover this real fast, guys. 2 seconds. The list. Over here. Make a new one. Make a key. That's okay. Just make sure it's set on clients and channels. Whisper 2. Oh, I gotta go on a server. And then I probably have to refresh. Oh, cancel, reload. All right, so you can just do the group. And whenever you do the group, instead of like doing like a global to everybody, is that what you guys meant by global? Like you guys are doing like all clients, all channels?
Yeah, that's what I do.
I was just memeing, but
Yeah, I would just at a minimum factor, like if you're doing like comms like that, just do it by group, and then go down to the individual level. But I would never global comm, because that really should only be the shot caller, or like maybe a select other person that's like calling out stuff to the army that consistently like your side caller pretty much. Yeah,
Alex.
yeah, because you don't want to chatter the main comms up a lot, guys. Do not want all that chatter, and that's really what TeamSpeak is all about and what it's for. Okay, all right, let's talk about gates. So gate repairs. Obviously, I mean, like your fort was pretty impeccable last night, so you guys did really well. Did you guys have anything about fort that you guys didn't like, or like something happened inside of fort that you guys have a question about? Because I mean, outside of this stuff is pretty much comp fort play.
Well, I was wondering if you had access to like the Swoop workshop channel, and I posted like an image in there, and I was wondering like what we would do as like a top left quad in this situation to save the point, or like what you would do as a caller to save the point.
Yep, let's see. Okay, so you are what quad?
Top left.
So you're top left. Is this your healer?
No, that's
Karzalar's the healer.
Yep.
Nasty is a +1 rapier with wide fight.
Whoa,
Julian
IG, get it right.
Cash.
Get it right, IG.
Whatever.
All right. And your top
And
left quad.
Sonny's the IGBG.
I mean, it would depend on how the point group looks. So if point group is not wiped here and we have healers up,
This is right after we got wiped.
oh, then yeah, then this is a it's a play your life angle. How long are until respawns right here? Anybody know?
I think 10
19,
seconds.
18. So 10 seconds. This is for me. I mean, and like shotcaller could be dead here. So he might
That's my
not like
body.
see. Yep. Well, I mean, he sees this view then. So for me, you're already losing oppo, right? Like oppo pressure's already there. The point tick is already at almost 50%. And you guys are like kind of ending for the point right here, right? You guys have 10 seconds until respawn. As top left quad, yeah, go ahead. As top left quad, I would full on play life. There's no reason to get into this zone and die for it because with 10-second respawns, you guys are risking dying on respawn timers and putting on 30-second timers. So I would full on play bot left, and I would not step if I didn't have to. And you'll probably notice that usually the shot caller, whenever the point groups are dead, he's not going to be calling for crashes either. So I would like just full off step or like tip tap toe, and hopefully your respawns can come back in, and then you could recrash like bottom of point and hopefully get the retake. Because by the time your respawns get back in, it's probably going to be at like 75-80%.
Okay, cool. And
I'd
then,
just
so
like to point out that
respawns-
Lucky's not dead. He's on the right.
Oh,
Yeah,
it was.
the
Are you
whole
sure?
point team's alive right here. Lucky's right.
Oh,
Oh,
I
this
do
is
see
a
you over
different
there.
time. I thought this was when we lost it.
No.
This is at 1918.
I literally see me. You're right. It's not my body. I thought that was later. Disregard everything I said.
Yep. So I mean, and like every shot caller is gonna call it differently. But for me, like I can't full on see oppo here, but I do see this group here on bot right, and like that's pretty overran, and top left is pretty overran, and top right like has the oppo pressure in it, and you don't see any blues up here, right? I don't see any blues
We
up
end
here.
up wiping Oppo right after this.
So you guys are probably like right here out of view then, right?
Yeah, we crashed towards top right.
Yeah. So, yeah, then, yeah, but either way, regardless of that, as a top left quad here, I mean, you have so many people in your quad, and there's so much pressure on right side that if you guys come up here, you're just gonna get aped. Right,
Yeah,
so
we
just play
did.
bottom until you have pressure. Yeah, I mean, you're just walking into a bunch of monkeys up here, and they're just I see blue, and yeah, they're just gonna come at you because kind of like just free kills, right? So yeah, you
we
want
actually
that.
get the free kills and force them into full reset after this.
Yeah. So if you crash top right, then yeah, they just got off sync. That's good. Any other questions? Let me see if I need to check that channel out. All right, perfect. Go back. Bam.
So back the fort question. The fort question I was going to ask. There's been a lot of back and forth. I've heard people don't really drop at B anymore as far as kill squads on other servers. I haven't really had that experience yet. So, do you know what they're doing on other servers if they're not dropping B, or are they just playing like cat and mouse with the B drops. Like if they look at if point team turns around and looks at them, they run it back to flag.
I mean, are you
What are
talking
they
about
doing?
for like comp wars? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, for comp wars.
I mean, I would say for 98% of the comp wars that you see right now, one army is getting absolutely gigaformed. So, like, if you're on defense here,
Yeah.
comp wars right now, doesn't matter what server you're at, there are very few servers where there's actually like an even comp war. So if you're inside a fort on defense and you're gigafarming them, there's no reason for you to drop down at B because they're not even getting in the gate. And most comp wars on most servers, they're not even getting past the side point right now. However, on the flip side of that, if this defensive team is attacking them, and then obviously like the team that was getting gigaformed, are they still dropping down at B gate? I would say it really depends on your kill squads and how like in sync they are, but it doesn't always have to be B gate, right?
Right, it could be A if you see value at A or C.
Right. It's
those.
wherever you see value at, and some armies also send like their AOEs in through the side gate because they know about this pressure coming down here. They'll send like AOEs through the side gate, and then the AOE will just pump the bottom of the point because he got in through like the strong side. And then they'll send him in through here. Which is why like as 9-10, what we call drop gates, I would say as long as the ramparts are clear, you don't have to drop at B unless like there's something there that you see, but instinctively just dropping still works if that's the question. Yeah, dropping at gates still works. You just have to do it. Like armies are just doing it better now, so they're not just dropping down at B gate. They're dropping down at B gate whenever there's 5 seconds on a respawn, and they're putting people on 50-second timers.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. Outside of that, yeah, go ahead.
But like on like the push timings, like should you be sacrificing like if because people are just getting in so easy right now in a lot of wars too, like should you be sacrificing like that much like rampart control, because it feels like a lot of times, I think like maybe this is when Sandy was asking, like it feels like sometimes like if you jump, you're just like they just like leak in from some other gate, and like when you come back inside, there's just like 10 people like already set up top B on you, like they've been in the 10v5 because you dropped.
Yeah, I mean like that can definitely happen. What a lot of armies are doing is that like they will send their spear kill squads to like the side gates, and then they'll send them straight up, right? Because our healers usually like to sit up here. So that's where like B gate might not be the most valuable place for you in that point. You know, you might want to come to A gate. You might want to send 9 here, and then 10 over here, and then 10 comes to 9 and says, "Hey, I got a kill squad over here. What do you have?" 9 comes to them and says, "Hey, I got a kill squad over here." Right? But if you don't see kill squads there, right, that means they're in the back, which means that you already know where they're going, and you would definitely have value to drop at B. However, if their kill squads are going through the side gates, they're probably going to come in and come up, and then they're just going to form you from the back. So you might as well just play for like top control and just get all your value up here.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. So just watch the army. You don't always have to make like a decision based on what the strategy is, because not every army attacks the same way. And you just have to match whatever they're doing to you. Anything else about like fort play? Like I said, you guys' fort play last night was good, so I really don't have anything bad to say or really go over. You guys played it pretty well.
Yeah, I got one more.
Mhm.
So if you're +1 in a kill squad on point phase, are you trying to +1 them inside fort well as well, or are you going back to your generic group?
There are so many different things that are changing as far as that's concerned. Typically, or at least what I had done in the past, and it's been a while since I actually got a comp war, um, was to send the plus twos in my case. Send the plus twos. Two of them go back gates, and two of them go top ramparts, front ramparts. So our back quads would go to the back gates and help the back gates out,
Yeah, they
and
had
then
two
our
+2s at back gates, and it was kind of screwing us over, but they didn't get any value out of it really.
Yeah, so that would be scary. That's where like the plus twos would come in to help, but at least like yeah, you guys are realizing that. Yeah.
I thought they had like 15 to people over there, but
They essentially had 4 extras over there after the kill squads.
And I mean, like they could have overloaded a gate, like doing that. Like I did notice that like after they weren't getting any pressure, like they would do a full on reset, and they were resetting their gate assignments as well, which is what you should do, because like you don't just want to keep going with the same push. You want to rotate groups from C to go back gates. Usually going back gates is where you get the most value. You send them back here, you overload the back, and then you force the defensive army to look back here. Then as soon as they do, you have your army push to the front, right? And yeah, that's usually what you do whenever you can't get inside a fort is you overload these back gates and force their army to look back. Whenever they do, then you push forward. Any other questions?
So in that case, if I'm like C and I'm a flex, do I just stay on C if he's like getting overloaded just because we anticipate they're gonna push through C in a few seconds or something?
So what I would do, and I mean like it's really up to the caller. But whenever I see them overload back, or if I know that they're overloading back gates, uh, basically like these guys or these guys are split, right? So you're gonna get the most value by telling your flexes to look back here, because then they can meet up as an army, like with the other gate groups back here, then just wipe this group up. And then after you guys wipe the back up, hopefully you do it very fast. You guys will have the back gate groups help to help you on the front gates, right? So basically, wherever you get hit at first is probably where you want to pressure first. If they hit the back gates really hard first, then I'm going to flex to that first, and hopefully like get the kills on those groups. The biggest thing is getting the kills and making sure that you guys like you get the tag on it, because a lot of reason why Fort is so dangerous right now is because people just aren't confirming kills. So people will just walk around with like, with Ankh, they'll just walk around with like 35% health, and then they'll catch a DE and then they're full health, right? Because nobody had anything to finish that target off, or the group just wasn't playing together. So yeah, confirm kills. Anything else about Fort, guys? Okay, perfect. I think that is pretty much it. Yep, yep.
You see much build swapping from point to fort?
Build swapping from point to fort.
Like somebody's playing like one particular build in point, and then it's like better to have a different setup in fort. Are you seeing people like adapt to that yet?
There's really only like one role as far as like point groups that would do that. I know that because I really only play point group, right? So I don't know about like any of the other like kill squad metas, but I'm sure that like bow probably isn't that effective inside of fort. I don't know, man. I would say that like maybe switching to a spear inside of fort on defense would be more effective than a bow, but I just don't know enough about the other groups and what they do as far as like role switches. To be honest, to
I think there was a
to
company
suggest on
that
that.
did that on streams tonight, one of the wars.
Oh really?
That's probably why he's asking. Yeah.
Oh okay. Was it? Do you know what war it was?
I don't remember. I think Archie was in it. It might have been Take Care.
No, I don't know nothing about that. I was just my own curiosity.
Oh.
Yeah, I
Is,
mean, I will
then.
say that. Go ahead.
I was gonna say we had 2 IGVGs instead of 1 because one of our players swapped in for it, and it was huge for our gate.
Yeah, we had Ant switch from Firestaff BB to IGBB.
Yeah, that's one thing that I was gonna say is like just more ice in general. Inside a fort is very effective, and making sure that you guys are keeping like at a minimum 1 IGVG on your gate. But if you guys can keep 2 there, then that's even better. Because IGVGs are really hard to kill. Number 1, and like icing this gate as 2 IGVGs like is literally gonna waste like 30 seconds per push for that group. Yeah, all right, let's move it on. Bam. So now pretty much same thing except for attack. This one we could probably talk forever on because there's so many different scenarios and so many different aspects. We'll talk about it and then we'll watch like 10 minutes of Gurge's Prem versus Dropouts war, where Dropouts is on defense and Gurge is playing for them. And we'll kind of just talk about like what Prem is doing wrong during that war and why like they could never establish anything. And see like what we would do like on attack to establish. That. Alright, yep, prior life. Right. Yep. Listen for crash laws. Let's start insert person here to insert frequency.
I added that.
Okay,
if you
yeah.
need to.
Yeah, I got you.
My man likes his
Okay, yeah.
templates.
Oh, same here. The
Is
biggest
that
thing
wrong?
is
Like the quad groups play just off point. That's not true anymore, right?
I should
I
say
mean,
edge of point.
yeah, it pretty
Instead
much
of just saying
goes
play
to
close.
it's the flip side of defense, right? The flip side of defense. On offense, this right, yeah. On offense, if the point isn't ticking and you're on offense, then you as a quad, as long as you have your healer up, you should be stepping. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Sorry for asking the same question over and over again. I just
No. It's
I just
good
want
that
to
you
make sure
do.
because some people don't understand that I'm supposed to be stepping like most of the time. They think that I'm supposed to be playing off when I'm literally supposed to be on there all the time, or at least that's my understanding is. Like there's rarely a scenario where I'm supposed to be off unless we're just rolling them, right?
On attack, yeah, you're usually more so on the point than off the point on attack. That's for sure. Or yeah. Let's see.
I'll change that verbiage.
Yep. So yeah, like quad groups though, like the biggest thing is like prying your life quad groups, making sure that you have a healer up on crashes. If you don't have a healer up and he's calling a crash, you probably shouldn't go in it because probably more than likely a guaranteed death. Whereas you could just wait on your healer, find value, tip tap towing, and whenever your healer gets back, you can just grab the next crash, right? At least you didn't grab a 30-second timer. Try your best not to grab 30-second timers. That goes for like point group and quads. Kill team on attack. Biggest thing is just like dragging them as far as you can, and then going to pull tick, or pull tick first and then drag them. Go to the split. I'll talk about like inner lanes and stuff too, but I know that weak side goes over here, caps this. Weak side, obviously, like if you guys have any trouble capping that, then like let the shot caller know. Sometimes weak side will just go over here and lose and not tell the shot caller. That's just just make sure that you have those comms. I mean, personally, the split would drive me crazy. Uh, I personally I split with the army on attack.
Yeah, on
Um,
Isabella specifically, it hasn't been needed. 99% of the time, they just let a point go for free.
Yeah, more than likely they probably are. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. They definitely did it to us whenever I called so.
Yeah, there hasn't been a reason to do like a 30-15-5 split yet.
Yeah, usually I'll just send like point over here, and then I usually keep all quads at B.
Yeah, for sure.
And
That's
then
what
I
I'm expecting
send.
to happen. Have to happen soon.
Yeah. Okay. That works. So we'll just kind of skip that.
Yeah, and we
Talk
had
about
that
the C
planned
point.
for if they did it to us, but they didn't do it to us either. So
Yeah. Okay. So we have cap B, and we're staging for a C push. So you kind of want to split this battlefield, like in half where the bond is. Put it like that, right? So they full own this, and we're going to be crashing into like these two areas. So you can either full crash their road. So that's where like you would send your weak side this way. You would send your top quads, and you would send your point group. That would be like full crashing because 8, 9, and 10 is still going to go this way no matter what. And then bottom quads go this way. That is one way to do it. And I usually do it based on if they have established on the point yet. If we caught them on B and we capped it fast and we got a lot of kills, and they haven't full established on the side point yet, it's pretty effective to take road control from them because they're already split up from their group, and you'll probably get some free kills in their road. If they have established on the point, then basically these top quads will go to the right of bond if you're coming from B this way. And it's not your job to instantly get up here and get through. It's your job to make sure that you guys are staying alive and causing at least 2 groups to be attacking you right here, right? Because while you guys are holding those 2 groups here, and hopefully 3 groups with group 7, and like your healer's just pumping you because he's back here and he doesn't have anything to worry about. Your oppo team is going to be pushing this way, and your point group and the bottom quads are going to push the bottom of point, right? And basically, you're gonna take that space on bot right as a point group and bottom quads, and then point group and bottom quads. After you do own the space on bot right, you want to look to see if oppo is winning or not. If oppo isn't winning, then you kind of just want to push up. If oppo is winning, then I would push left, and kind of push these guys right here on the left side into the oppo fight, right? Because they're gonna have to basically concede that space. If your oppo fight is losing, however, realize that the army can then just push you to the right, right, and push you back in the bond, right? And that's just how like the army would get staggered, right? So if oppo fight's losing, what you should do is push up, right? Because hopefully, if oppo fight's losing, flip a coin. Your top quads are winning this fight, or at least holding there, and then you guys can come in and crash behind them, and then boom, you get a huge wipe on their top quads, and then now you have full space on right side of point. Does that make sense for like how like a first push should be? Hopefully so. Like whenever you guys are pushing into this point, it's not about like getting the bot left or getting the top left. It's about paying attention to what's happening around you and staying alive to take space on the point and start taking the point. If you guys just run in and get to top left, or run in and get to bot left, and then you just die, you're never establishing anything on the point. Which is why like you kind of just have to slow it down, slow down. You obviously don't want to just jump into like a 20-man brawl at your bonfire either, right? You want to kind of push into point and then just establish as a group or as an army for back quads, like back right with point group. And then for top quads, if you're up here, like you guys are going to have probably like a 15 on 10. So it's going to be unfair for you. Basically, like a lot of comms to your healer, a lot of comms from your healer is going to keep you alive. and you guys just playing your life and using your kit to stay alive. And like obviously, if you guys have any issues staying alive, don't just enter yourself into a clump and die for it. You die, but like just don't end for it, right? So just run back, and then once the point group gets established here, these top quads are gonna start looking back here, and then you'll probably just run in for free.
So this is on, just to reiterate, this is on attack going to trying to take C.
Mm-hmm.
Or last point, whichever one it may be.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the way I think about it, and I don't know if other people think about this or the way I do. But like the line of scrimmage, which was like the front points of the two armies, would be parallel with C Road.
Yep.
And then once we establish a little bit of tick on point, then we can spin it. Correct? We can spin it to where it's parallel with. I guess it would be normal.
Yeah, it'd be like top to bottom.
Yeah, and then we could start working on oppo control.
Right. Yep. That's pretty much how it works. Like you're gonna have like your line of scrimmage. It's actually more so like in favor of them, so it's like at the very edge of the point right here.
Yeah.
And then like you guys push and take that space, but like realize that if you guys take the space all the way up here without having any control right here, you guys are probably just gonna die.
Right.
But if you do have the control right here, that's whenever this bot left quad starts to take his space over there. And like if his oppo team is winning, right? Bot left. If your oppo team is winning over here and you guys see that, you're like, yo, oppo's winning, and you guys go assist them and they full on win, right? They full on win this fight. You guys just took their pocket from them, and now you guys are just full spinning point.
So
Yes,
as
sir.
a group 8 and 9, so 10's gonna take the wide fight either way.
Mm-hmm.
But as a group 8 and 9, you want to kind of play close to those bot quads until you get that space, correct?
Yeah, you're basically the bot quad's protection.
Yeah.
From their 8 and 9. Because if their 8 and 9 leaks through you, then bot quad's healer is going to get farmed, and then bot quad is going to get farmed. And then more than likely, point is going to get farmed because point healers are right here. Yeah. So that's like a basic concept for like final point attack. And that's just like an initial one. There's plenty of other concepts, plenty of other ways to flip it, and there's so many different things that can happen in a war where like the shot caller has to change things because it's just not working. But does everybody like understand that concept, and like does that make sense to everybody, or at least why you would play it like that? I'm gonna assume so. Yeah, good deal. All right, let's move it on to the fun stuff. So I don't know how Lucky does fort, but obviously I'm sure that we all do waterfalling. So just all melees on the gate, and then who's ever assigned at this gate will then stay at that gate, and then as a 50-man go here. All melees on the gate. The only thing that I do is that whenever we're on this gate, I go ahead and let my back gates go back there and Keg can get horns down.
I do the exact same.
Yep. And then obviously, just like healers, you also have a ranged weapon. You can also hit horns. Same thing with everybody. I mean, literally everybody should be hitting horns if you have a ranged weapon. There's no reason. Outside of that, making sure that you guys keep your gates down. And if somebody is repairing your gate, make sure that you let the shot caller know. And I like to, on every regroup that we do, I like to tell my gate groups to hit the gate and see if they're doing any damage to it. So if you are doing damage to it, then just make sure that you hit that gate all the way down. So usually, like even healers can do that from out here. They can just be attacking the inner gate wall, and if you attack like that inner wall at the gate, you will kill all the repair parts that they put into the gate. So that's on like regroups and stuff. I'll do that. Whenever you guys are at your gates and getting ready to push, I usually call for like pre-reach. Pre-breaching is basically everybody's getting their ultimates up, and I'm gonna look for a good time to have everybody breach. I'll usually like give like a clock timer on that. So say it's like 14:20. Whenever 14:20 hits, I usually send my side gates in and my back gates. So my back gates go to your side. Side gates go to like the back for A it would be like the back left stairs. For C it would be the back right stairs. So if you're in the back gates, like kind of go this way and then drop down and like try and meet this gate group here. Hopefully this gate group can get through and you're meeting them in dirt. If you're not meeting them in dirt, then you're probably going to collapse on somebody right here because they might have pushed them out a little bit, which is okay. And then me as the shot caller on B gate, I'm looking to see pressure past like this line here. Once I see blues in this area as a shot caller, that's whenever I have B gate come through. And that's usually whenever like we can actually get through for free. That
Yeah,
doesn't
do it
always
the
work.
same way.
Yep, that doesn't always work. That's usually like, I'll do that for like, depending on how many time I have left in the army or in the war, I'll do that for like 3 to 4 minutes. After 3 to 4 minutes, I'll start switching up gates. For me, see how familiar this is. All right, so for what I'm used to is 3, 4, left side quads, 5, 6, right side quads, 7. So I think we usually do it like this. Right? Ours is usually like this. Like disruptor, and then kill and kill. And then these guys will just come up and up to the ramparts at B.
Yeah, the reason we
Whenever
have a
like I
setup
do.
how we do is because ISIS still likes to drop B meta a lot.
Oh yeah. Then you're just prepping for it, right?
Yeah.
Yep. No, that makes sense. So yeah, like say we're getting giga farmed and I gotta rotate groups. This is where I rotate groups and like I'll do different gate assignments. We call for a group 4 to come B. So that kind of gives us like a lot of sustain at B. We got a quad and we got point groups there. And then I call for all kills to go back gates. So this group here is like shit up the creek, right? They're probably gonna get just like giga farmed if they just go in, right? So they're just gonna like pull pressure, and then if they pull pressure from these guys, and these guys are like, oh yeah, we can kill them, right? You should let the shot caller know that these guys are coming out of the gate to kill you as a group. Because if you do that, and I know, and we have all the gates down, I'm pushing everybody in, and then they're about to get giga farmed for like trying to push you out here. That's really like the concept of weak side over here. Weak side is just play your life, and then push in whenever the army catches them off road.
So you're just
If they don't,
basically playing off their egos.
yeah, you're bait, man.
Yeah.
You're cheese on a stick to them, and if they chase the cheese, they're probably gonna die. So the backgate groups are really influential on this push, because having so many kill squads come straight to the back gates, and if it catches them off guard, and you send 20 kill squads, or 20 people through the back gates, and have them crash right where their healers are going to be at, because their healers are maybe expecting 10 people back here, like a little bit of pressure, right? But you send 20 people back there instead, it really catches them off guard. And like if you full wipe their point healers, then obviously like everybody just walks in for free at that point, and you free tick. And then if
So,
that doesn't work, yeah, go ahead.
so with before we get too far into it, what we normally do is we have one gate with 2 kill squads, and then 1 kill squad on the other gate, like the back gates. And then Lucky will have, I think it's 9 and 10, go from back gates to top B. Like, you can make your way into dirt and whatever, but eventually we want to make our way to top B. I don't know if that's something people do. I don't necessarily like it, but if it is, I don't know. I just kind of want to know why we do that instead of like the 2 kill squads being on A and C.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say that he probably runs it that way just because like it's been able to work on the server, and there's really been no reason for him to change it too much, like outside of like the last few wars that you guys have had with DHE and like finally some comp is getting over there. So there's not really a reason why to switch it up. I can tell you why like most people aren't putting 2 kill squads on 1 gate. And as far as like the back gate travel thing with 9 and 10, like that's all fine and dandy. But really like you want to get your kill squads in, and you want your kill squads as soon as they get into fort, because like let's face it, like it's hard for kill squads to get through fort and survive in there, right? And there's just so much going on. As soon as your kill squads get in, and if they do get in as a group, you want them to instantly have value. You don't want them to have to travel and then get up here, right? You want it to be
Yeah,
like the shortest
yeah,
run.
that's what I was gonna say, because it's already hard enough getting into fort, but it's really hard getting into fort and making sure everybody's alive, and then making it to top B.
It essentially is it's been working. I haven't lost an attack war in like 8 wars.
Oh no, and I mean, you're saying this works, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah.
not
No,
any different. They're going in and like, killing everyone at the side gates, helping them get in,
not
and
telling
then
you
going
to
to top B. So I
walk
don't
immediately to
even
top
really see
B.
what's
You
different.
should be heading that direction and keep killing people.
no, yeah, and I mean, like, I totally get it. Whenever the comp does happen, like, obviously, like, things will probably have to change. Um, just know that, like, it probably won't stay that way, and like, things would probably have to change if it got like insanely competitive, which obviously it has. Yeah, like you want your backgate melees to be back here, like your kill squad melees to be back here to just own the ramparts, and then hopefully your 9-10 can get up here like through this way.
Hold
And
on
then
one
if that
second,
doesn't,
Swoop.
yep.
Hey, we have an invasion and we're pretty short signups. If some of y'all can kind of log in and join it, you don't have to like leave the Discord and go over there. It's an invasion, so it's pretty brain dead. But if a couple of y'all can like log in and help out with the invasion, that'd be cool.
I'm calling a gate, so I will have to go over there though.
That's fine. We're recording, so.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I have a question before we get too deep into like the nitty gritty of Fort. It's more like when we're default.
Yep.
So like we typically, like the last point is typically the point by A gate, and there'll be like waterfalls over. And then like by the time we get to C gate, like it seems like almost inevitable that we never get the seahorns down before like a play is made on like one of the other gates and like a push is called. And like I'm seeing these horns up for like 5 minutes, and like I see like full kill squads like run past them, and like obviously like we're gonna just push in to meet the call, right? Like how do we like address getting these horns down, because they're kind of just like being a nuisance
I kind of want to
the
just
whole
comment
war.
when the difference between the horns going down when like fire staff, we do like 800 damage a tick, but when like kill squad bows start hitting it, they just disappear. I wonder on that same point, like I don't feel like horns are going down because people aren't just shooting it.
Well,
Like,
it may be related to Lucky sending an extra kill squad on the back gate and not sending a kill squad on C gate. That may be why it takes forever for them to get down. But like I see like a kill squad just like run past a horn that's like at half health, and they don't like spend the 10 seconds to like kill it. And I feel like that should be the play, but I'm not sure. So I kind of like I'm just looking
That
for
sounds like an
clarification.
individual micro error.
Yeah, I mean, if they're backgate groups, right? If they're backgate groups, which they are, right? Like that's his setup. It's really not their job to hit your horn, because they have to get their backgate down, and then they have 2 horns back here. So what should be happening, however, is I mean, like you guys are a little bit short-handed based on like this setup as far as sending an extra kill squad back here, but you guys do still have hopefully a healer, hopefully a fire staff, maybe. I mean, you guys have 2 healers, right?
Yeah,
A fire
yeah,
staff. Like, if you guys are all hitting that horn, that's like 3k damage per hit. Like, there's no reason why you guys, obviously, you guys aren't all going to be alive, but if you guys are all hitting from left to right, you're going to get it down.
I mean, we're all hitting the horn. It's just like by the time we
I
waterfall
can
all
tell
the
you
way
from
back to
watching VODs,
sea.
not all of y'all are hitting on horns. If y'all
Okay,
hit
well,
the horn together, y'all
everyone
gonna
in
have it.
everyone in my group is hitting the horn because I'm yelling at them to hit the horn. But
I'm sorry, I'm
Yes.
not that good at blowing.
And that's like that's wherein lies the issue, is that like maybe everybody in the other group was not hitting horns and they were just full playing for the gate, right? And I mean, like, either way, for me, as like caller, whenever I'm calling, I run over here to see gate and I look to see if this horn is up.
yeah,
If this horn is
we're
still up, I literally won't let anybody go in the fort.
oh, okay, because like we're comming to main comms that the horns are still up, and like Lucky's acknowledged that, but like A's like been fucking around here this whole time, right? Because they're at the beginning of the
They're bored.
waterfall,
They're
and
restless. Yeah.
they'll like win a crash or something over here, and they'll calm that over, and then like everyone's just called in, and then like half the horns on C are still up.
I mean, the last time we called that, though, we had A, E, and D wipe at the same exact time, and then we won the war 30 seconds later.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
No,
like, things
that's
like
not
that.
true. This was at like I can show you my VOD after. I don't want to like
Oh,
spend
was
too
it
much
in
time
the
on this.
Yeah. Either way.
Bumper
I'm
store?
just trying to like figure out like these horns are fucking they like we were in fort for 10 minutes and I didn't kill the last horde until 5 minutes and
Alright,
then we won the
that's a
fort
mistake
in
then.
a minute. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like, that's a VOD review type thing, and like it should literally take my army. Like, if I have my comp army, it takes us like after we get B8 down, and like we're working on the right side B8 horn, so these are all down, right? It takes us maybe 2 minutes from there to have this horn down, because literally this 10-man right here that goes over to C, like, sure, the melees are going to the gate, but the healers are going right here, and they're all starting on this horn.
Yeah, it takes
The
a minute.
IGVGs are all sitting there with them. The fire staff is sitting there with them, right? Like, they're just starting from left and going to right. And yeah, like, if that's not happening,
Yeah, we might
then
not have been getting enough support from the other group there. But every ranged in one of those groups was hitting them. So I
Yeah,
guess
7
maybe
probably should
I'll
recommend you guys
just set
help
up
with
a
the horns.
whisper to that group and just say,
Yep.
hey, hit the fucking horns. You know?
Yep.
I got you.
that is exactly it. You know, and if you do that, then obviously that alleviates the pressure off the shot caller. Because if I run over here and I see this horn up and nobody's hitting it, I mean, like, that pisses me off, right? Because these two groups, nobody here could let me know that like horns were still up, and then not only that, but they weren't even hitting them. So yeah, I mean, outside horns should all be down before you guys are breaching into fort. Obviously, for A, that's really hard because you guys are over here and you're bored, right? And A, if you do happen to push, as long as like you're not dying right before a respawn, then I think it's okay, right? Because you guys are sitting here for like probably 2 minutes before everything's all said and done and ready. That is breaching, and like things as far as gate assignments and rotates can all change. Like I said, there's 100 different ways to cut a pig. So based on what the defense is doing to you, basically the attackers are playing reactionary inside of the fort. Outside of the fort, it's a little bit different. You don't have to play reactionary, but inside of the fort, you kind of do, because they kind of just own that space. All right. And I mean, obviously inside a fort, like, it's the gate assignments are set up this way so that the right side quads can play right side dirt, the left side quads can play left side dirt. And I mean, like, you win fort by just knowing how to play your life. It goes all the way back to slide 1, and just prioing your life, right? Especially inside of fort. Like, prioing your life is huge inside of fort. Like, it's insanely huge. Outside of prioing your life inside of fort, it's making sure that you're calming if somebody is getting a gate down. Healers specifically, it's easier for you guys to do that as long as you're not like having to heal a clump or having to make sure that your bruiser doesn't die. You guys can quickly just snap back. You're in a safe place. See if somebody's on it. If they're not, then cool.
Can you clarify when people say a lot of times they're like play for your life? I see people just still try to 1v4. They'll try and break some ankles, but when I'm trying to play for my life and I'm like quads, I'm looking for another
Mm-hmm.
quads like group healer just to wait for my group to respawn if like they've been wiped. If you survive,
Mm-hmm.
finding like
Really,
as another group to live with for just a few seconds for a respawn is how I would play it. On top of being defensive. Is that
so playing for your life means that if you don't have a healer, you shouldn't be doing anything but getting outside the fort. If your healer is up and you're a bruiser who's confident in his ability to play, and if somebody checks your VOD, they're not going to yell at you if you go into a clump because you have your healer up and you know that you're going to live, then okay, you can play for that. But if you're not that guy and your healer's up and he's telling you to play for your life, yeah, you shouldn't be doing anything but really like trying to get your ultimate up and not trying to jump into the first clump that you see. Um, but I mean, like there are like obviously some really really good players at the game. I'm definitely not that good, but I know plenty of bruisers that if they have a healer up and they're inside a fort, they can go take on a 10-man clump and know for a fact that they will get out of fort as long as they're communicating with their healer. So I mean, playing for your life really all depends on you, and your play style and what you need. Like for me, if I heard a shot caller say "play for your life," I'm running out the fort as soon as possible, regardless of if I have a healer or not. Unless, like, obviously we have space, right? We have space and we're establishing, and he's saying like "play for your life." We're about to get off point, but we're gonna recrash it. Then obviously I'm not running out. I'm just gonna take the space on dirt and then run back in whenever they crash. Any other questions, Jess?
When you say play for your life, if you know you're gonna die and you can delay that, like you're gonna die, would you rather us die 20 seconds later or die right away?
It depends on when respawns are. Really, I mean, if respawns are right then, don't risk it because it could put you on a full timer, or you could catch the instant respawn. Right? Um, I don't like playing with that devil. Just play for your life and stay alive. Does that answer the question or no?
I believe so.
Okay. Any other questions, Jess?
So like as a
Perfect.
flex group or like a kill squad, I guess, like
Mm-hmm.
is there priority to like running in and killing shops like right away or killing like extra horns and like the first thing you should do is kill like the inner horns if they're not down or something?
Yeah. As you're talking about as the back groups, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Your priority should be the horn. I mean, like obviously get shops down. I mean, I really don't prio too much on shops just because I prio point tick over over getting the shops down because if I tick the point, there's no way that they're buying anyways. But some armies do like prio getting shops down, and getting shops down is like a whole nother way to play for it. If you get shops down and they're not able to build up gates, then that's obviously really, really effective. But definitely these inner horns are big first prio. And your back gate horn should already be down. But yeah, I mean, like initially, yeah, you do want to at least shoot the shops and get them down initially off that initial play. Okay. Let's see. Any other questions?
Yeah, I think I have one more.
Yep. Go ahead.
So like in this meta, it seems like the IGVGs, they're just spam trying to build doors the whole fucking time. But
Mm-hmm.
there's so much more pressure on point now than there was like 2 months ago. I'm noticing like the quad groups that are like coming in through side gates, they're kind of like rushing to like meet crashes on the point. They're not like fighting for dirt as much as they used to. And like you said, like as a healer, like turn around and hit the guy building the gate. Like I try to do that as much as I can, right? But like
Mm-hmm.
these motherfuckers stick it, and obviously I can't like babysit the door while keeping my group alive. So like what I've been doing is like I've been calling back like either like the disruptor or like the IGVG or whoever can to just kind of like dog that guy and not let him build a door. I just kind of like want to know what your perspective on like preventing doors from being built while crashes are being called.
Usually I have the healers will usually whisper it to me, and whenever they whisper it to me, I will then tell it to everybody in main army, and then there's somebody who's looking over there stopping that guy. And then if the gate
Okay.
gets up after I tell main army that there's somebody repairing it, then I yell at everybody and go off.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, just
No,
communicate it to the shot caller. Let the shot caller know that somebody's putting up a gate, and obviously, like, still try and stop him from doing it.
Yep.
But yeah, the shot caller will probably like tell everybody to look at it, and then like you don't have to worry about micromanaging people. He does.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you.
Yep, yep, yep. Any others, guys? Feel free. Feel free. All right. All right. We'll try and make the meta talk pretty quick, because obviously the meta that I went by was like old. This is old. It's changed. It's changing again. Wait, what? I don't even know if this is right. This might be like super old. Yeah, this should be like spears probably. All right, I'm not gonna change too much here. It should be spears. Maybe. Okay. Yeah, I'm just not gonna change it. But yeah, pretty much some things that are happening. Basically, like with the whole +2 thing, is that it's causing people to be reactionary to the meta, and literally the meta is changing every week now because people are making like 4-man changes instead of like entire group changes. They're just adding like one person, one different role to every group, and they're like, oh, how does a fire staff BB do with pestilence on the point? Oh, how does a fear do on the point? And then fear work, right? So just basically patch comp and meta comp, like the meta is just changing so much. 1 second, I gotta let these dogs out. I just wanted to cover over comp a little bit, but I really gotta take these dogs outside because they're about to drive me nuts now. Can you guys put any other questions that you guys have into the chat for me? And then I can answer those offline because it's like 1 a.m. here now. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry. And then I will get this uploaded and I'll put it on YouTube and I'll send it over to you, Lucky. It's just so late here now and these dogs got to go outside.
Thanks for coming over
Thank
here
you.
and like dumping all this on us.
No, I'm not hurrying. I'm
Good
not
luck
hurrying.
to
You guys got any other questions before I do have to run out, guys?
I think we're pretty good, brother.
Take care of business.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. And Lucky, I'll get this video uploaded and send it over to you.
Awesome. Next Swoop.
All right, guys. Have a good night. Have a good night. I hope that helped.
Night, brother.
Appreciate it, man.
Hey, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, I'm not gonna lie, at the beginning when he said we were gonna watch George's video, I was like, what the fuck? I didn't agree to this shit.
And he said it was gonna be quick, and then it was 2 hours later. He said